The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Hello and welcome to this very episode of The Realtor, and I believe that what we're going to share here is part of what majority out there require. Why? Because I believe everybody needs a place to call home. Everybody needs a place to call residence, and that's why actually the project I'm starting on today is Manor Residence, a project by Wilston Homes, and I'm with a guest, one and only from Wilston Homes. He'll be explaining to us because I want us to discuss matters property acquisition or home ownership and how simple it can be made for you, even to making your resolutions come true. My name is Robert Dongo and I'm not alone as usual. I'm with a developer. Karibu sana kiongozi.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
It has been a minute. Happy New Year. It has been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yes.
Ni pilka za hapa pale, but we thank God.
Right.
The year has begun on a good note. There's peace in the country, so there's every reason to do business in this country. Which is fundamental. The other things, we can take care of them as time goes, and we are grateful for this opportunity to also represent Kenyans and offer them solution in a bigger capacity. Because like you've said, everybody needs a home. It is not how, but when. That is, which is more always urgent. And we are here as Wilston Homes to make sure that we sort out those pertinent issues about home ownership.
We used to call them 5W plus H, and you have considered two, not about how, it's about when. But these people, I also have a solution, and I believe you have a solution sorting the question how, because that's why you told me that you have a very flexible payment plan. Yeah, sure. And of course we'll be getting there. But now, matters home ownership, Bwana Gideon. I believe I was looking to whereabouts and what you've been doing since last year, because we covered some of what you were doing then. And it's kind of, you forgot about the locals here and shifting to diaspora. What is good out there?
I think it is transition that time comes, and we are grateful. You know, for the longest time, the diaspora client have also supported us in a bigger capacity. Not forgetting our Kenyans brothers and sisters who we live with them here. They always get an opportunity to meet and interact with us at most of the time. So there are people without papers, and definitely they want some leverage when it comes to, they want to see and interact. So we got the opportunity to travel to UK, we've gone to USA, we've gone to Germany, Belgium, all those countries in Europe. And at the same time also in Africa, we've gone to countries like South Africa and also Botswana. These countries have a lot of migrants who are Kenyans. And these people also require something that someone who they can associate with and also trust at that particular point, because doing business when people are not there, they also require some bit of credibility, and those credibility structures and confidence in the company is what we watch for once we get out there. It also gives them a bit of exposure to learn what it is that is happening back at home, so that they don't overstay there. By the time they are coming back,
you're homeless.
You're homeless, and at an expense of you never gotten someone that you can trust and call them.
Oh, wow. And mainly or majorly why I had to look for you, I was interacting with people across, the real estate sector, and Realtor found out that people are fearing, they like, we don't have capacity for now to invest. Not necessarily because it's January or the beginning of the year, but because they are talking of dollar being high, economy being bad, but yet you are still doing it. Maybe you can tell us what the secret and how is the market as at now?
I would say one disadvantage on this other end is also another advantage on another end. We've seen people in US, for instance, at this particular point, when dollar is very high, that is why they are very happy about that actually, because the exchange rate vis-a-vis the Kenya shillings, that is something that is motivating them much more to even send money back at home. Like I've said, yes, we could be suffering back here because of the inflation attack on our currency, but that doesn't stop other people outside there to also think of the same, because now we've seen a lot of transition in terms of remittance. When now those people working out there are sending more money back at home. This more money is business to us at the same time.
And maybe I know you talked about the people in the Western. We talk about now when you go to Europe, that is talk of Germany, talk of Australia. Yeah. All these areas, you have Kenyans who are living there and they're investing here.
Quite a number of them.
And to them, you know, the euro and the dollar, it's to their advantage.
Absolutely.
Now, coming back here, Bwana, I believe we have Kenyans who are literally hardworking, and you have quite a number in your client base. What is this secret that locals are applying to make sure that such projects is ongoing, they own homes here, and they beat all the odds?
Actually, Robert, if I might say it right, I operate with a philosophy of one of my mentors. If you cannot take care of the little that you have, even in much more givings, you're not able to be responsible enough. Most of them does. You know, our payment system is structured in a way whereby it is very human and again pocket friendly. In this sense, what I would say is most people is believe in yourself, come on board. The little that you're getting, sacrifice them towards a certain purpose. So by so doing, then we're able to also motivate you. So because our construction model also motivates someone. As you pay, the construction is coming up. So you're able to also track your progress by just coming to the site and seeing what it is that we are also doing vis-a-vis how much you've paid. Trust you me, we've seen it also from where we've come from. Those who are brought up in up country, we knew in terms of development back at home, our mothers had these chamas whereby they could contribute a certain amount of money, and in the end of the circulation, there is a win at the end of the day. The same thing, you know, ours is accumulation of a pool that would assist you in case you do not have money at that particular point. It doesn't mean tomorrow you lack to have the same money. So as time goes, you also make a contribution towards the progress of your own house. And at the end of the day, we've gotten clients whereby they started very low, but along the way, they challenged themselves to also finish the payment, even before those we had confidence in that they would do this part of payment on time. These things are there as long as we challenge ourselves and make sure that we stick to the purpose of why we came into the industry, then everything else will sort them out. Best still, we have cases where yes, there are those alongside the journey of the payment, they are not able to also pay on time, and maybe at certain particular moment they are not able to facilitate the construction cycle. What happens at the same time? So we also have mechanisms that we've onboarded on the system whereby in case of certain scenario, we're able to push you forward to other oncoming projects so that you also do not lose out on the purpose as to why you came on board. So these things has been there, and as Wilston Homes family, we always say we mitigate these challenges as time goes. These experience, we've borrowed them from way time when COVID was there. You know, everything was okay until COVID came, and now things changed, and we learned how to accommodate each other with the minimum resources that you have. Even on the construction perspective of it, it is basically on the minimum resources that you have. You spend them well, you'll deliver and get whatever it is.
You've mentioned about COVID, and I watched you closely amongst other developers when it came to post-COVID strategies, because I think COVID taught us that everybody should at least, no matter the nature or the size of the structure, you should have a place to hide your face.
Absolutely.
I observed you, and you seized that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Is it true that, or rather, how did it happen? Is it that COVID came with money, all people changed their perception about home ownership?
It's all about sacrifices. You know, COVID is when we learned that what you have today is not a guarantee tomorrow you have it.
Absolutely.
So adjusting to the basic minimum that you should live with is what is lessons that were learned and derived from the previous pandemic that we had. But again, now moving forward post-COVID now, there are some of the challenges that we've come to also realize as humans, that most people were comfortable wherever it is that they were renting. But again, now post-COVID, everybody is anxious enough to get a home, at least just in case future things do not work out well, then they'll have a shelter and they will minimize the expenditure when it comes to bills and all the other things. Again, in consideration to the fact that we also developers had lessons learned from the pandemic, we also adjusted ourselves to effective minimizations of expenditure that again do not compromise on the standard of the construction, but again effectively make you self-reliant when it comes to the things that you use during the construction cycle.
If I have a project somewhere, no matter where, no matter the size, my heart is always there. Now, I try to imagine people you work for, other people who buy from you, and their minds are fixed towards their project. How do you manage timely delivery?
There are several factors that obviously affect the timely delivery of a project. We call them socio and economic as well. There's also some bit of political and also the finance part of it. And also weather at times, you know, it might lean too much getting into the project, or getting machineries in that particular project becomes a little bit difficult. But again, as a company, we've also come up with mitigation of factors such that sometimes we oversupply materials to a project, so that when it is inaccessible to get materials from Kware is mostly where challenges are, we are able to also now be under construction even for a timeline of 1 or 2 months at most. And at the same time, we also come up with other mitigation factors that our system now accommodates along the way to make sure that projects are delivered on time. And again, best still, we do not compromise on the quality checks or maybe the quality of that particular project as per the standard the client expects from us as Wilston Homes family.
And I believe this is all what we want to know, or we request knowing about Mr. Egidio and Mr. Egidio. There's no Mr. Egidio and Wilston. We are talking about one entity. And as we have mentioned, one thing they are known for is timely delivery. I want to pick from them so that if you are a developer or even you are doing your private investment, there are pointers that you can pick and of course help you achieve what you desire in good timing. We shall be taking a short break, but don't go away, because we shall be coming back with exactly the projects that are ongoing, the delivered ones, and what is this that we need to do for us to maybe be part of this history, and especially in this 2024. Karibu sana, Mr. Egidio.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Now, before we went for the break, we talked about why people, or rather how people may find easy way of, of acquiring property. Now, let's talk about a unit like the one right behind you. Give us a feature in such a mansionette.
Usually, we call them maisonette. There are other people who call them townhouses. There are other people who call it bungalows. But you know, this is a maisonette from a perspective. It is usually a 4-bedroom. We have 3-bedroom. No, we have 1 bedroom downstairs, the kitchen, the sitting area, the pantry, and behind we have a servant quarter. Upstairs we have the master bedroom. We have another 2-bedroom and a family room as well from this particular balcony you can see here. And over on the top we have a free space, because most of our maisonette, not unless clients want otherwise, we do them flat roof maisonette, whereby you have space on the rooftop. So could be you're having guests that are so close to the family and you want to have a conversation, you can still take them up there. And again, all our maisonette are seated on a 50 by 100. There, for those that are conversant with construction, they are 250 square meters. So it's quite spacious and enough for whichever family size there could be. They're also all en suite. every bedroom is en suite, and we also have a common toilet, or a lavatory or a washroom area, or bathroom down for guests that you could have
on top of learning the procedures and the features, also learning vocabulary.
Absolutely.
I've learned it's not about mention it, it's mention it.
Mention it, yeah.
Okay.
Mention it, yeah.
It's about mentioning. Now, let's talk about, no, that's the feature, the general features of this
Absolutely.
unit. Before you come to the legal aspect of myself as a customer, let's talk about the customization. Do you allow customization or what you fix is the final?
Like I said, depending on the client's taste, we allow customization, because everybody before they come to buy a house from us must have that specific house they want in their mind. A lot of Kenyans do a lot of research. I think I've seen a couple of reports online. We are very vast when it comes to online activities and all that. And again, that now doesn't give us a break at a certain particular point, whereby most Kenyans have already done a research of what they need in their houses. Particularly, most of them, we've seen them customize mostly the interiors. I will tell you, in most of our houses, they might look uniform from the outlook, but once you get inside those houses, there's the wow factor in each and every house. Because again, we accommodate their views to just come and give an impression of what would make them comfortable when they are still staying in that particular house. And that one, you cannot deprive it from them as a right.
And now, Banajidi, we agree on this one factor, that the biggest fear with any investor, be it on land or houses, is now the ownership documents. You know, when you talk about this, you're talking about title deed.
Absolutely.
How safe are these people that buy with you? How soon do they get their title deed? And how guaranteed is the whole process?
House or property purchase is a legal process to begin with. It starts way from the beginning. As developer, you also have to first purchase the land, and now do all that entails the planning of that particular project from the beginning to the last point. Now on the client side, there is also now the due diligence bit. They want to also understand, does the property belong to the developer? One. Secondly, what's the history of the developer when it comes to the things that they have done? At what point do they buy credibility and believability in they will hand over as it is promised from the beginning? I think those structures are already set, and that is why we as Wilson Homes family, we also have a chain of lawyers on board, so that they also help the client on the other side with their, you know, most of the client will come with their lawyers, so that there is that communication at a very professional levels, so they engage and agree on modalities and the right paperwork done right from the beginning. That defines when the project will be completed, that design the bureaucracy of how payment will be facilitated, and the responsibility the developer has from the point A to point Z of that particular project. And again, on completion of payment, yes, it is the right of the client. Every house comes with an individual title of the same plot, which we call it an eighth. An eighth, that is 50 by 100, whereby as we are handing over the key, if you have completed the payment, we hand over the title as well. And now, foremost, our management company, you know, dealing with gated community, again, would provide some bit of common play ground, common level ground for everybody to be accommodated in that particular. So we don't just leave them, but we leave them with a management company, themselves, that they erect their own leaders, and we guide them the way, along the way. However, before we exit the project, by the time clients are assuming ownership to come and live in that particular project, we also have a duration of 1 year warranty, whereby we as Wilson takes precautions measures that are needed to be done during the construction, and maybe if something was amiss, we rectify it.
I am a client, I have my projections. I know that this mention it is costing 15 million Kenyan shillings. Now I come commit my 4 million because I'm excited, I love your work, but along the way I'm not able to complete. What happens to your defaulters? Do they lose their money completely, or you agree on modalities on how they can complete payment, or you refund them?
You know, I will say first things first. The intention of whether they were happy to see the project and buy into the project, they had a need in the very first beginning. So the need of getting the house is what we call the reason as to why they came on board. That need must be facilitated by all means. That is what I tell my team. Because at one particular point, this client already has that particular need to get that house. However, there are circumstances that could not allow them. Maybe at certain particular point, their finances do not add up to their projection at the same time. But at the same time, as the company, we also have come up with mitigation charges, whereby you do not lose money with us, one. If worst case comes to the worst, and maybe it's the timeline that is not working on your side very well, we'll transfer you to an oncoming project so that you also get a longer payment terms. And maybe because, like I've said previously, we also get the charges whereby some clients lose life. You know, some get charges that are permanent. Some ones maybe get some critical illness. In those circumstances that are critical and require some bit of humanity, we refund the money 100%. But if there's anything that is not explainable, yes, we refund the money, but deduct a certain percentage.
I believe, having said that, when I as we come to closure of this very discussion, security is key. And I have no issue. I have not heard of any incident of insecurity. How do you ensure that this is up to bar?
We say security begins with myself and yourself. So myself part, we will do the entire estate, finish up construction of the entire estate. We'll do perimeter wall around the entire estate. And there's over and above that, we do electric fences to make sure that they are monitored at any given particular point. We've also onboarded the smart home features in most of our estates, whereby there are those estates that we are installing CCTVs, and all our estates are manned 24/7. We have security guards at the gate, and during the night we have security guards at the gate and all over the compound to monitor when people are already asleep. That is what we call part of the facilitation for the service charge, whereby we have to have guard 24/7. Doesn't mean there is insecurity, but again, to also repel on any thought of people would come on and intrude on the privacy of other people in that particular estate, so that everybody, irrespective whether you live by yourself or you've left kids at home, because that is very sensitive across the board.
Is Manor Residence sold out?
Yes, it is already sold out. Maybe you could be having 1 or 2 houses here and there. It was a project of 139 homes. It's one of our kind, biggest that we've ever had, and it will be our signature project, trust you me. And right now, because we've done it here, we are projecting also to have a handover of this particular estate somewhere in August. So all drums stationed to the right direction, that is where we'll drum towards and make sure that clients get the value for the money that they have invested and trusted with us. And that one has to be.
Is there any hope for someone who didn't get an opportunity here?
Yes, there hope. We have projects across the board. We have projects here in Ruiru, 2 of them, Manor Residence and Manor Annex. That's around 250 houses. We also have projects along Kenyatta Road, on exit 14 on your way to Gatondo. We have over 1,000 plus projects there, houses there. And we also, the most recent maybe is behind Mango High School on your way to Thika. Just behind the Mango High School, we have a very good project there. It's called Mang Groove. We are now currently selling Seattle coat. We happen to go to Seattle, and that is where most of our clients are. So we decided, let us reward them for the support they have given us. So we have bungalows there. There we are selling bungalows. We also, for those maybe who could not love Thika Road as well, we have projects around Kagudo Road, Kamuru and Joska to be very specific. So there's everything for everyone.
I cannot thank you enough even for the opportunity you're giving these people to own homes. And I pray that we shall be looking into what what you are doing in future.
Thank you.
Because the Realtor started with you, and we have been observing what you're doing.
Thank you.
We believe that everybody has an equal opportunity to owning property.
Absolutely.
Thank you.